Continuing our series on the crystal gems, today we're looking at the Type A member of the crew. We're covering her personality, relationship dynamics, powers, fusions, and some of the real-world influences that could have shaped her character. I'm Chris Carr, and today I'm talking to you about Pearl from Steven Universe. Before we get to Pearl, I want to give a quick shout out to our super nerd sponsor of the day, Some Assembly Required 75. Thanks to heroes like SAR75, we're up and running. Head on over to our Patreon page and see if you can pitch in. If you could care less about Patreon rewards, then how about a sweet Steven Universe tee? We can hook you up with that. Click the link in the description of this video to check out all the swag TeePublic has to offer. On to Pearl.
Steven, until you learn to control the powers in your gem, we'll take care of protecting humanity. Okay?
You could make the argument that Pearl strives to be the Mary Poppins of the crystal gems, working to be practically perfect in every way. She's detail-oriented, precise, and chaos sets her off, hence the often combative nature of her relationship with Amethyst. Pearl is controlled, and consequently often can be controlling, seeking to find order in the naturally chaotic lives of her and her friends. Her perfectionist tendencies make more sense once you learn in Back to the Barn that pearls were specifically created to follow and maintain order.
She's a pearl. She's a made-to-order servant, just like the hundreds of other pearls being flaunted around back on Homeworld.
It makes even more sense that Pearl exhibits this sort of behavior and suffers from extremely low self-esteem. In the episode Friendship, she says that she seeks validation from others. We see Amethyst echo this sentiment in the episode Reformed, believing that Pearl needs everyone's constant approval to feel valued and secure.
But I need encouragement, Garnet. I need everyone's constant approval.
Without a mission, orders, or someone depending on her, Pearl feels lost. This mentality was most likely formed from the ideology she was raised with back on Homeworld. Homeworld essentially had a caste system and caste values. There, pearls were viewed as property as opposed to gems. Peridot describes pearls with the blanket statement as being, quote, someone's shiny toy. Someone being the aristocrats of Homeworld, such as diamonds and sapphires, or those who were gifted with pearls for acts of their heroism and obedience under the Diamond Authority. Pearls provide entertainment to the top-tier folks of Homeworld by singing, dancing, and projecting holograms. There are literally hundreds of pearls on Homeworld, and all are expected to be submissive, obedient, and serve their masters every whim. Pearls have no independence or agency. Pearls are basically Homeworld's equivalent to the downstairs folk on Downton Abbey. Foot people and chambermaids. They're expected to only speak when spoken to, or not speak at all, walk several paces behind their superiors, open doors, etc. The most heartbreaking thing is that pearls are physically incapable of disobeying their master's orders. Storyboard artist Joe Johnston confirmed this when answering a fan's question about Pearl caste programming, and if Pearl was simply following Rose, aka Pink Diamond, because of her servant mentality. Johnston said, quote, "I'll put it this way. If Pink Diamond were to say, Pearl, I order you to do such and such, because she's her Pearl, she would have to do it. Of course her servant mentality played a role in her allegiance to Rose. How could it not? But that relationship clearly grew and changed as naturally as any relationship. And it wasn't due to Pink Diamond's powers or influence. Have no fear, Pearl is her own gem and wasn't being puppet controlled by Pink/Rose her whole life. It's not mind control."
I'm going to stay and fight for this planet. You don't have to do this with me. But I want to! I know you do.
I've talked a lot of smack about Rose Quartz when talking about Steven Universe, and honestly guys, I gotta give Rose props here. She, in my opinion, did encourage Pearl to be herself, to not be a servant, to be more than what society deemed was her worth. In Back to the Barn, we learn that pearls aren't meant to fight, but our girl is a master swordsman. Rose trained Pearl and allowed her to follow this warrior path that she was so interested in. Coming to Earth with Rose, and consequently remaining on this strange planet, forced Pearl to explore the sort of gem she wants to be, and forced her to examine her relationship with Rose. We get the most in-depth look at this relationship in A Single Pale Rose, an episode, in theory, that's all about rose quartz, but really is about Pearl. The story is told through Pearl's memories, which makes sense. Pearl has those holographic powers, we'll get to that later, but also because Pearl is so stuck in the past. She's tied her self-worth in her relationship with Rose. She was her most loyal follower. She helped her found the crystal gems. She was important because Rose was important. She grapples with how much she resents Greg and Rose's scabbard, and still blames him for taking Rose from her, figuratively and literally. In Mr. Greg, she even sings about her inability to get past this, asking, "Why can't I move on?" A Single Pale Rose traps Pearl in her most traumatic memories, including the direct order from Pink Diamond that Pearl will never speak of the faux shattering. By ordering Pearl to remain silent, Rose burdens Pearl with the secret of faking her own death. Pearl can't confide in her friends. She can't explain why she feels so personally responsible for the Gem War. She can't share why she was so in love with Rose, and how she absolutely was the authority on all things Rose.
I was the one she told everything! Yo, you're not the only one who misses her! You can't understand how I feel! None of you had what we had!
This robs Pearl of the ability to accept the newness of their lives, unlike Garnet and Amethyst, who take to life on Earth with more ease. She can't tell Steven who his mother really was, making it even harder for Pearl to accept that Steven is here and Rose is gone forever. Lie after lie after lie, Pearl had to bury everything she really knew and felt. By finally breaking free of this final order, Pearl is able to move forward and begin being her own person. In Steven Universe the movie, our gems get a hard reset and go back to their factory settings. Steven has to help all of them remember who they've become. Pearl's growth throughout the series has been all about self-confidence and independence. She had to overcome a codependent existence and a codependent romantic relationship. Now, I'm sure you've heard the term codependency casually thrown around to describe relationships where one party is needy and dependent on another person. There's a lot more to it than sheer clinginess. Codependent relationships truly can be very extreme. The person will plan their entire life around pleasing this other person, or enabler. Put simply, a codependent relationship is when one partner needs the other partner, who in turn needs to be needed. This can become a vicious and often toxic cycle. The codependent's self-worth is totally wrapped up in this relationship. They'll only feel valued as they sacrifice themselves.
Like during the war, Pearl took pride in risking her destruction for your mother. She put rose quartz over everything.
Pearl was designed to serve, so when reset by Spinel's Rejuvenator, Pearl goes back to her subservient ways. It takes Greg and Steven reminding Pearl that she's her own person, singing about the importance of being independent together to get her back to normal. Once again, Steven Universe reminds us about healthy relationships, and not just romantic ones. That sort of dependency is seen in Pearl's friendships at the beginning of the series as well. She learns that this isn't a healthy form of love, and that healthy relationships involve accepting people's individuality and giving them and yourself space. Before we discuss some of the symbolism of Pearl, I want to talk more about all of her powers, because dang y'all, she's got so many. First and foremost, let's talk about this warrior gem. Pearl has developed incredible hand-to-hand combat skills. She is incredibly gifted at wielding a spear, a weapon she can summon on command. She moves gracefully like a ballerina and can attack with deadly precision. As I mentioned earlier, she also has expert knowledge and skill with a sword. Throughout the series, Pearl has demonstrated a real knack for mechanical engineering. While she can't do so to the level Peridot can, Pearl's been shown to be able to interface with technology and control it. When she interfaces with Gemtech, her eyes become overlapped with what looks like binary code. Pearl can use her gemstone for a multitude of things as well. She can use its photokinesis to light up dark places. She can project holographic images to use as a visual aid or create Holo Pearl, a projection that can interact with solid matter and function without Pearl for up to 2 weeks.
To begin, this Holo Pearl will be your opponent.
Level 0. Beginner set.
Do you wish to engage in combat?
Her dreams are also often projected as she sleeps. Pearl can replicate herself several times over as well, like in the episode Beach Party.
Over here, Amethyst! Over here!
Pearl's also been shown to manipulate small amounts of sand to create figurines, like in the episode Giant Woman. This is a skill that I definitely want to see more of. Pearl's also got hammer space! She can store objects in a dimension within her gemstones, including other gems and humans. On top of all these amazing powers, Pearl, of course, is capable of fusing with other gems. And she's done quite a few. Let's run through some of them. When fused with amethyst, they become opal. When fused with rose quartz, they form rainbow quartz. Fusing with ruby and sapphire, aka garnet, forms sardonyx. Garnet, amethyst, and pearl can come together to form alexandrite. When all the OG crystal gems fused, they would become obsidian. Alright, now the part where I wildly speculate with real-world gem info. Pearls have been long associated with beauty and purity. Christians and Hindus adopted the pearl as a symbol of purity, which is often why pearls are used in purity rings and wedding dresses. By the Middle Ages, pearls were sacred to Christians and adorned their holy objects. The Quran also speaks of pearls being a symbol of perfection. I think this sort of modesty, perfection idea is reflected in Pearl's design and her physicality. Her body language tends to accentuate her movements like a ballerina, using the tip of her feet to keep her legs straight with often the feet crossing, and, as I mentioned, her fighting style also displays several leaps and pirouettes, all further emphasized by her own ballerina-like outfit. It all reinforces this sort of ladylike imagery. The finest quality of pearls occur spontaneously in the wild and are extremely rare. This helps shape pearls becoming a metaphor for all things rare and valuable. As pearls grew in popularity, many began farming pearls and cultivating them artificially. Although many of these are referred to as pearls, Many of them have little to no value. I found this fascinating since pearls are a dime a dozen on Homeworld, with little value placed upon them. In jewelry, a pearl's value is determined by a combination of luster, size, color, and symmetry. This probably helped shape the character Pearl's obsession with symmetry, and why there are also various shades of pearls in existence in Steven Universe. Ancient Chinese mythology also tied pearls to wisdom in stories of wise dragons forming them in their heads, and the Book of Job in the Old Testament saying that no mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. This verse ultimately led to the colloquialism, pearls of wisdom. Pearls are the birthstone for those born in June. That means the signs Cancer and Gemini fall under the pearl. Cancers are known to be knowledgeable, industrious, caring, and loving. They're often cautious people who look before they leap and would never do anything without the proper research first. They can be overly emotional and overly sensitive, controlling, and even possessive. They're known to not let go of the past. Geminis, on the other hand, are believed to be flexible and adaptable. They have the gift of gab and are known to be well-informed conversationalists. While charming, they are believed to have short tempers and be a bit scatterbrained. Supposedly, they also tend to possess aristocratic features and are very agile.
Intelligent, accurate, faultless, elegant.
So, if you buy into astrology, we can see a lot of our girl Pearl in these traits. She definitely has the mental prowess of these two signs. The inability to let go of the past really resonated with me when I was researching this. But what really matters here is how much stock you guys put into this. Do you think Rebecca Sugar got some help from zodiac signs when creating Pearl? Now, Pearl will be the first to tell you that humans are flawed, and I am obviously no exception. I might have left out some of your favorite Pearl trivia bits. Hit us up in the comments with your hot takes on Pearl. Thanks again to everyone on Patreon, and be sure to check out the great merch TeePublic has to offer. For more videos, just click to the left, or you can check us out on Roku or Plex. Thanks for watching! See you, Space Cowboy!